Hey guys, welcome to Jaxbeautifulyou. I am super excited for today's video because I'm going to be sharing with you some perfumes that I used to hate, but now I love. And actually, hate's a pretty strong word. Some of these fragrances I really did truly hate. Some of them I just didn't like that much. I just didn't think they were for me. But I completely changed my mind on these fragrances and I'm super excited to share it with you. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Jackie. If you like this video and you find it helpful, don't forget to subscribe. To my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much for all your continued support. I really appreciate you. If you are interested in seeing the perfumes I used to not like and now I love, then just keep on watching. All right, we're going to start off with some Chanel. So Chanel is one of my favorite perfume houses, which is hilarious because I used to absolutely hate Chanel. Chanel perfumes were not for me, and now I think I have more Chanel perfumes in my collection than any other house. I remember going to a Chanel counter when I was younger and smelling a bunch of different Chanel perfumes and thinking that they were absolutely awful. And like I said, I could pretty much put every single one of my Chanel perfumes in this video, but I have two to share with you today. These are the two that I think I hated the most. So the first one is Coco Noir. This is new to my collection. I actually have wanted this for a while and I finally got it in the Sephora VIB sale. This one I went back and forth on if I wanted to get it because I had a sample of it. The sample I had just really didn't perform very well. However, I am happy to report that I wore this all day yesterday and it performed okay. I mean, it wasn't like super strong, it wasn't super loud, it wasn't a beast fragrance or anything like that, which is fine. You know, I don't need a beast perfume. I just want my perfumes to be present. You know, I want to be able to smell them. That's kind of the point of perfumes, right? I just wanted to be able to have at least a small scent bubble around me that I could enjoy throughout the day. So I did find that that's what I got with this. I got about 5 hours of wear. I do have to spray this on my clothes in order for it to project a little bit to get that little scent bubble. But as long as I do that, it's fine. If I just spray it on my skin, it's only about 2 hours that it lasts. So I definitely have to put it on my clothes, which I usually do with my perfumes anyway. So not a big issue. This perfume is absolutely gorgeous. It feels super classy and sophisticated when I wear it. It's definitely a Chanel fragrance. Like it has that Chanel patchouli in here for sure. It's got some warm and spiciness to it as well. There's cloves in here and I absolutely love that because it gives it this like warm, spicy kind of feel. There's also a lot of florals in here. This is kind of bright in the opening though. This has grapefruit, I think there's bergamot and some orange in the opening, so it kind of gives off almost like a Coco Mademoiselle vibe, but not quite Coco Madame. Like to me, this doesn't smell like Coco Mademoiselle, but it kind of has that same vibe in the opening. But as this starts to dry down, I get a lot of muskiness from this perfume, and this almost gives me like a clean skin kind of feel, but with some warm spiciness, some brightness in the opening. I just think it's absolutely beautiful, classy, sophisticated. I definitely get the patchouli in here, but the patchouli is just this like warm and clean and, you know, Chanel patchouli. It's not dirty, earthy patchouli. It's Chanel's patchouli, which I absolutely adore, and I think that's what made it. You know, that's what made me start to fall in love with Chanel fragrances, is I just fell in love with the type of patchouli that they use in their fragrances. So this one's gorgeous. Like I said, I used to hate it. I used to think it smelled like bug spray. I used to think it was way too mature smelling, but now I absolutely love it. Super happy to have it in my collection. All right, an even spicier version, an even more mature version is the original Coco, the Eau de Parfum. So this one came out in the 80s. And it kind of smells like it came out in the 80s. It's a little bit vintage, I will say for sure, but I just love this one. I think it smells so powerhouse, like a powerful woman wears this perfume. A very mature, powerful, successful woman wears this fragrance. I think it's beautiful. It's a very serious perfume to my nose. I definitely have to be in this kind of a mood, but I do appreciate this one so much more than I did when I was younger. Like I said, it's definitely more on the mature side, but I just love this one. To me, the performance of this one is a lot stronger than Coco Noir. I feel like Coco Noir is easier to wear. This one is very strong. Like, very, very strong. It lasts all day. It definitely projects. And yeah, I would say this is probably in the beast mode category for me. It's just, it's out there. I wore this the other day and I was sitting on the couch and I was just loving the scent. You know, I was just sitting on the couch just thinking about this perfume, thinking about how funny it is that I used to hate it and now I love it. I just appreciate it so much more now that I'm older, I feel like. Anyway, my husband walked in and he did not like this perfume. He walked in, he was like, "Oh, what are you wearing?" You know, it wasn't a favorite of his, but yeah, I don't think this is for everyone. This also has civet in here, which is, you know, now synthetically made, but they used to actually get it from like actual civets. I think civets are like a cat, a form of a cat. But they actually used to get it from the animal itself, which is unethical, and now they actually just manufacture it in the lab. But still, it's animalic smelling. It's not for everyone, but I think it's absolutely stunning. So that is Coco, the Eau de Parfum by Chanel. All right, another fragrance that I really did not like. It was not for me at all. I don't actually have a bottle of it yet. I'm debating. I think I'm going to add it into my collection. This is Delina by Parfums. Now I have Delina Exclusive, which I love. I loved at first sniff. I loved from the beginning, but the OG Delina, when I tried it, it was very sour. Like that rhubarb note in the opening was so sour on my skin, and I just did not enjoy it at all. And it just, yeah, I don't think I was ready for it. You know, when I first tried Delina, I was just getting into perfumes, and you know, the hype behind Delina was so strong. Everybody was talking about it. I had to test it out. So I got a sample of it and I just was like, no, that's not for me. Fast forward to a few months ago and I decided to retest Delina, and it was absolutely stunning. Like, it was stunning. And I don't know what happened. I did not find the rhubarb to be sour. It just smelled, you know, it smelled tart for sure. There was a tart opening, but I seem to enjoy that now. I completely understand why people just rave about it, and I think I probably will add that one into my collection at some point. I've kind of been debating on it because how many rose fragrances can one person have in their collection? Seriously, like how many? But Delina's Delina. It's a classic at this point, I feel like, and yeah, I'll probably add Delina into my collection at some point. Another perfume I did not get the hype on. When it was super hyped up and popular, I didn't really care for it, but recently I have discovered that I love this perfume, so I bought a bottle of it many, many, many years later, and that is by Viktor and Rolf Flowerbomb. This is the original Flowerbomb. This is such a beautiful fragrance. I don't know what was wrong with me. I don't know why I didn't like this. I think it was the patchouli in here. I think I used to not like patchouli as the issue. I think that's why I really hated Chanel fragrances, because yeah, I never really used to be a patchouli fan, but something happened and changed and I just fell in love with patchouli. Although it has to be a specific type of patchouli. It can't be dirty or earthy patchouli. I'm not into earthy types of fragrances, but this is just that clean, warm patchouli. It's just the patchouli that is added into a fragrance to like help it last longer. And it actually smells like it warms the fragrance up. It gives it depth. It gives it character. You know what I'm talking about, like the classic clean, warm patchouli. That's what's in here, to my nose anyway. I think it smells incredible. There's tea, there's bergamot, there's jasmine, rose, orchid. There's a bunch of different florals in here. It definitely smells like a flower bomb for sure. Lots of florals, but it is also very, very sweet. So it almost smells to me like sugar and flowers together, you know, like sugar-coated flowers, basically. It's really beautiful. And then in the base, you do have patchouli, musk, and vanilla, which is a base that I absolutely love. I love the vanilla in here. I absolutely love the patchouli in here. Very girly, feminine. I'm finally on board with Flowerbomb. And I love this perfume. I think it's amazing. I think it has great performance and it's just super easy to wear. This is an easy reach perfume for me. So where I used to struggle with patchouli, I used to find it extremely difficult to wear. I have no issues with it now. So this is by Viktor and Rolf Flowerbomb. All right, by YSL, we have Libre Intense. I don't even understand this one, to be honest with you. When this first came out, I went to Sephora and I tested it out and I absolutely hated it. I don't know why, but for some reason, this smelled on a tester strip. I sprayed it on a tester strip and it smelled like alcohol. Not like rubbing alcohol, but actually like drinking alcohol. I don't even know what kind of alcohol, but it just smelled like somebody had poured me a shot. There's no alcohol in this fragrance. I have no idea, you guys. I have no idea what kind of crack I must have been smoking that day, but apparently I need to actually test fragrances out thoroughly before I actually just make snap judgments of them, because I'm not sure what was going on that day, but I hated this perfume. I thought it smelled overly nauseating, and it just smelled, it like made me sick to my stomach. I remember when I smelled it, it was just like, I felt nauseous. I just felt like I was sniffing some sort of shot of some sort. I don't know. It just did not smell right to me. So not too long ago, it was in the spring, my husband and I were sniffing around the store, and I remember trying this one out again, thinking, okay, I need to retest this, because I knew I didn't really give this a full shot, you know? So I wanted to really truly get my thoughts on this fragrance. So I resprayed it, and it was an immediate love. I didn't even put it on my skin. I just put it on a tester strip at first. And it was immediate, like, oh my God, I love this perfume. I got this super delicious vanilla, like this almost like a salted caramelized vanilla with some lavender. And it was just beautiful, and I knew I needed a full-size bottle. Plus, I love the bottles. I'm super excited to have this bottle because this bottle is absolutely gorgeous. This is a very, very strong fragrance, and it definitely is one that I have to be careful not to overspray. If I spray too much of this, I kind of get that like nauseated feeling that I got in the beginning when I first tried it. But if I tone it down, if I just keep it to a few sprays, it's magical. It's absolutely gorgeous. So this has lavender, mandarin orange, and bergamot in the opening. There's more, like there's jasmine, there's more lavender, there's orchid in here. I believe, yeah, there's orange blossom. And then in the base, you have Madagascar vanilla, you have tonka bean, you have ambergris, and vetiver. And I do find that ambergris pulls kind of salty on me. So to me, this feels a little bit like it has a small touch of like a salty vibe, like salty caramelized vanilla is what it smells like to me. And I think it's just beautiful. I feel powerful when I wear this. I feel like this is something like a CEO of a company, just a total like boss babe would wear. Used to hate it, now I love it, and that is by YSL Libre Intense. All right, this next perfume I didn't hate. I just found it to be odd, and I really didn't know what to think of it. I kind of disliked it when I first tried it out, but then it grew on me, and now I love it. And that is by Mugler. That is Angel Muse. This is the EDT version. This is an EDT, but it performs like an EDP. Like there are no performance issues with this fragrance. It definitely projects, it's definitely present, and it will definitely last you throughout your day. This lasts all day on me. And this is so gorgeous. I used to just really think this was the weirdest perfume ever. I still kind of think it's a bit weird, but I think it just smells so good. So in the opening, you have passion fruit, and I get that immediately. As soon as I spray this, it's like this super heavy dose of passion fruit. And then as it starts to dry down, I get that hazelnut spread, and to me, it smells like Nutella. I've heard some people say they don't get a lot of Nutella in this perfume, but I don't get that because it is as strong. Like that is the number one thing I smell, but I have to wait. Like I don't get Nutella right away. I get passion fruit right away. But as it starts to dry down, I get this gorgeous Nutella hazelnut spread note in here that is actually pretty strong on me. And then in the base, you have kind of like this earthiness to it, which is kind of weird because like I just told you, I don't really like earthy perfumes. I just don't like earthiness all that much, but for some reason it works in here. So it's fruity, chocolatey, gourmand, and earthy all at the same time. It is odd. I just find it to be so odd and yet so incredibly addicting. I love this perfume. I think this is so good. I am super happy to have this in my collection, and I think it's just so much fun. Like I have a blast when I wear this, and I just sit and smell myself, and it makes me hungry. Like every time I wear this, I always crave strawberries and Nutella, because that's one of my favorite things to eat, like strawberries dipped in Nutella. It's so good. And this just makes me crave that. So that is by Mugler. That is Angel Muse, the EDT version. Okay, this is a perfume that actually almost got decluttered. It was like this close to being decluttered because when I first tried it, I really did not care for it at all. This is by Julianna's Perfumes. This is Head Over Heels, and this is inspired by KILIAN's Rolling in Love. When I first got this perfume and sprayed it, the bitter almond that's in here, it just was too much for me. Like it smelled bitter. I didn't get any sweetness from this perfume at first. I really just all I could smell when I first sprayed this was this bitter almond, and I did not like it. Now, I remember having that reaction when I tried KILIAN's Rolling in Love. I was at a boutique in Charleston and I was sniffing around. They had a bunch of different like niche perfumes and I was sniffing around, and that was one of them that I was super curious about. I remember spraying it on a tester strip and I actually like pulled my head back. Like I was shocked because I got this like super duper bitter almond, and I'm like, what are people talking about? Like, this doesn't smell anything like what I have heard people on YouTube rave about, you know? So I kind of dismissed it. And then when Julianna sent this over to me, I was very curious to see if I got that same reaction, and I did. I got this just bitter, bitter almond. I put this on my skin and I gave it a chance, and when it dries down, it is what everybody's talking about. I mean, I don't know if this is a really super close dupe to KILIAN's Rolling in Love because I never wore KILIAN's Rolling in Love. I didn't spray it on my skin. I just sprayed it on a tester strip. But my initial reaction to that fragrance is the same as this one. This dries down to be this soft, powdery cloud of sweet, almondy goodness. It's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I'm so glad I didn't declutter it. I'm so glad I gave it a chance. And that just goes to show you have to wear the perfumes on your skin. You cannot judge it by smelling it on a piece of paper. You have to put it on your skin because it can end up being something you love. I reach for this one a lot. This is just an easy reach perfume when I just want to smell comforted, when I want to smell feminine, when I want to smell good. Super enjoyable to wear. Really love the sillage of this perfume, and it just reminds me of like, it almost feels misty. When I spray it and I get that scent bubble around me, it feels almost like this mist of powdery, sweet almonds. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So I'm so glad I did not declutter this one. I absolutely love it. So that is by Julianna's Perfumes, Head Over Heels. All right, up next we have by Ellis Brooklyn. This is B. This one almost got decluttered as well. I did actually test this one out on my skin when I first got it, but I really did not like it at all. And it's because when I first got this, the brand note that's in here was overpowering. Like all I could smell was bran. There was some honey, there was some sweetness to it, but then this bran note came through and it literally smelled like I had just poured a bowl of bran cereal all over me. And I did not enjoy that at all. So I put it away for a little while, kind of forgot about it. And then I was going through my collection, trying to decide what perfumes I don't wear, what I want to declutter. And I grabbed this one and put it in the declutter pile. But I thought to myself, you know what, I better test this out one more time just to make sure. So I sprayed it again and it was absolutely gorgeous. This is on my tray for the month, and I don't know if you can see where it's like right. Yeah, I'm probably going to go through this entire travel spray, and I'm going to get a full-size bottle of this because this is gorgeous. And I was pleasantly surprised with the performance. For some reason, I had it in my head that this did not perform very well, but I wore this the other day and it was fine. Like, it was fine. It was moderate. Moderate performance, moderate projection, absolutely acceptable to me. I am so glad I didn't declutter this because this has honey. Obviously, there's honey in here. It's called B. So in the top, you have some rum. There's also some Divana in here as well. There's also honey, bran, and cinnamon, which I get this delicious rum, this delicious cinnamon and honey. So to me, this smells like a cinnamon rum cake. It's so good. Super pleasant to wear, especially right now in the fall. I mean, this fits. This is like the ultimate fall fragrance ever. And then in the base, you have cacao, sandalwood, and vanilla. Just super delicious. So I'm super glad I did not declutter this one. It is full bottle worthy for sure. I absolutely love this one. Okay, and the last one that I used to think I did not care for is by KAYALI, and this is Citrus 08. I did a complete and total transformation on my opinion of this one. When I first got this, I thought this was a weak performing perfume. I didn't think it smelled very good. I really didn't like it. I just didn't think it was a great perfume, to be honest. And I wasn't very impressed. But I was definitely wrong about this fragrance. This went from being pretty low on my rankings of KAYALI to being pretty high. I really enjoy this. This is definitely full bottle worthy for me. I'm waiting until the summer This is definitely a summertime perfume for me. I adore this fragrance, and I was wrong about the performance. The longevity of this one is actually really good. It's not a super loud perfume, but it is definitely present. I can smell it throughout my entire day. The longevity of this one is really good. Again, it's not very loud, but I was getting... It's satisfactory to me. As long as I have a scent bubble around me that I can smell, I'm happy with it. It doesn't have to be super loud. There's grapefruit in the opening, and I think that's what kind of threw me off in the beginning. There's also rhubarb in here as well, so it does have that tartness to it. But I find it super addicting. I actually really like this one. This is not just your typical boring citrus fragrance. This has a lot going on in here, and I actually think this one is super underrated. So again, this has grapefruit, it has rhubarb, it has bergamot, there's black currant, and there's pink pepper in just the opening of this. So not your typical citrus scent. This isn't like lemony, lime, you know what I mean? This has grapefruit, and it has interesting, like, different citrus notes in here. In the middle, you have two different types of rose. So you get this beautiful rose in the mid, and in the base, you have musk, oak moss, and tonka bean. It's absolutely gorgeous. This is such a beautiful summertime, refreshing, sweet, yet kind of tart, yet rosy, citrusy, very interesting fragrance that I don't think gets enough love. So I adore this perfume, and I went from thinking, not thinking super great about it to really appreciating it and loving it when I wear it. I absolutely love how this smells on me, and I think this is gorgeous. So that is by KAYALI. This is Citrus 08, definitely full bottle worthy for me, and I will be getting a full bottle of this in the summertime. Oh, I actually thought that was my last perfume I was going to talk about, but I forgot. There's one more that I wanted to share with you guys that I recently just discovered that I absolutely love, and I thought I hated this perfume. So this is by Xerjoff, and this is Italica. So I think what happened is I had a bad sample. It has to be. I can't really figure out any other explanation to why this perfume is such a love for me right now. But I remember about a year ago when I first tried this perfume, I had one of those samples, like one of those really little dabbers that you can't spray on you, you know? I learned my lesson. I don't go off of those anymore. You can't really spray it on you and experience the perfume, you know? It's just not a good test. Having those little tiny dabbers that you have to try to dab the perfume on you, you can't get the full experience. So I had a dabber of Italica, I put it on my skin, and it smelled like burnt plastic, to the point that my husband asked me if something was burning. I mean, it was really bad. It was really strong, and it smelled straight up like burnt plastic. So I just thought that it was my skin chemistry. I thought that Italica, you know, I know a lot of people love that fragrance. I didn't think it was a bad fragrance, but I just assumed that that fragrance mixed with my skin chemistry equaled burnt plastic. And that's just a no for me, you know? So I kind of dismissed Italica and moved on. I had a friend not too long ago send me some samples of some perfumes, and Italica was one of them, but this time it was a pretty decent sized sample, and it was one that I can actually spray on me. And I kind of was nervous about testing it out because I remembered my last experience. And anyway, I thought, you know, I need to retry it. I need to retry it because you just never know. So I sprayed it on, and it was mind-blowingly gorgeous. Like, absolutely mind-blowingly gorgeous. It did not smell like burnt plastic on me at all. And I was absolutely, and I am absolutely in love. Like, I will definitely be purchasing a bottle of Italica. Like, it is an absolute yes. I will be definitely purchasing it because I'm so in love with this perfume, and I totally see why everybody was raving about this fragrance. So in the opening, you have milk, almond, and saffron, and it definitely smells very lactonic, very almondy. I do pick up on that saffron, which I really love. I'm a big fan of saffron. And then there's toffee. Oh my God, I love toffee. I love toffee, and I could totally smell that toffee. And there's also some vanilla. There's bourbon vanilla, which I love. There's also some musk and some sandalwood. Somehow though, I think that almond that's in there, it translates, and I know this happens sometimes, but I almost pick up this like cherry vibe. I know almonds can sometimes translate to cherry. So I'm picking up this like super delicious, almost like an amaretto liqueur, cherry, almondy, toffee, lactonic, sweet, gorgeous fragrance. Oh, I'm so in love with it, you guys. died when I tried it. So I'm super excited. I'm trying to hold myself back a little bit. I'm not going to rush out and buy it because I still have my sample, and I've been doing a lot of shopping. Like, I've been buying a lot of perfumes lately, and I want to kind of slow it down a little bit, but eventually I am going to get Italica for sure in my collection because I think it is gorgeous, and the performance is really good on me too. The sillage that was around me was really enjoyable as well, so definitely the performance was satisfactory to me, and I am going to be purchasing a full-size bottle of Italica very soon. I'm so glad I got to retest it. All right, you guys, and that is it for today's video. Those are the perfumes that I used to not like, and I thought they were not for me, or I just downright hated them. And now I absolutely love them. So I would love to hear from you guys. I want to know what perfumes you've changed your mind about. What did you used to not like that now you just cannot get enough of? Let me know in the comment section. I absolutely love to hear from you guys. And if you liked this video and found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.